Mischelle Leahy from Reedy Press here today with Tim and Lisa Trudell. They are the owners of the Walking Tourist blog and co-authors of, or author team of 100 Things to Do in Omaha Before You Die, Unique Eats and Eateries of Omaha, and their new book, 100 Things to Do in Nebraska Before You Die. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
So tell me a little bit about how did you pick the places or experiences that you chose?
Hey, well, first of all, we wanted to make sure that we are representative of Nebraska. So we wanted to make sure that we included as many attractions as possible and experiences as possible in Nebraska, in all parts of the state. We didn't want to be Eastern heavy or Western heavy. We didn't want to be too historical heavy or, things like that. So we really did set out to make sure that it was as balanced of a book as we could for Nebraska attractions, experiences. So, we knew that with Chimney Rock is one of the most recognizable symbols of Nebraska. So we knew that was a given. But there are some lesser known attractions in Nebraska that we really wanted to give some attention to, that we've been to and that we've really enjoyed, like the Museum of Nebraska Major League Baseball in St. Paul, Nebraska, which this is actually considered the hometown of Grover Cleveland Alexander, who played baseball way back when. And he lived there after he retired full time. He lived there, and he actually still owns the National League record for most wins by a pitcher. I think he's tied for it, but he's still at the top of the National League in wins. And so the museum highlights the Nebraskans who have been named to the Major League, to the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. And then it also recognizes a lot of the Nebraskans who have actually played in Major League Baseball. Basically, the requirement is you need to appear in at least one game. But there are a lot of players who have gone on to enjoy some really long careers that are recognized by the museum. So we thought that was fun. And then just a little bit up the road from them is the Happy Jack chalk mine, which is not really a chalk mine, but it got its name as a chalk mine, and it's one of those attractions that not a lot of people know about, but it's a fun place to go to.
Ah, all right. So let me ask you, what would you think was the strangest place that you have listed in your book?
Well, for me, and Lisa can speak to what she thinks, but for me, probably the strangest attraction would be the Museum of Shadows in Plattsmouth. It's a museum that focuses on dolls and other toys that are allegedly possessed by the spirits of deceased people. Apparently, there is a doll that has the spirit of a 6-year-old girl, and she is the most popular attraction there. And the museum itself is named like one of the best paranormal museums in the world.
What was the name of the museum again? I'm sorry.
It is Museum of Shadows.
Wow.
So yeah, so that to me is one of the strangest. And then along the lines of, if you go one step further with quirky, I think Carhenge in Alliance, which is the replica of Stonehenge, but with cars that are painted gray. It's unique.
Interesting.
Nebraska.
So, Lisa, what do you want readers to know about your book, about Nebraska from your book?
Well, I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about Nebraska, just like several other Midwest states. But we're known for people think we're flat. People think that there's not a lot to do here. People think that there's just a bunch of cornfields and cows in the fields and not much else to do. So I want to kind of expose that there is we picked 100, but there's way more than 100 things to do in Nebraska, and we're full of historical, natural, and fun, family friendly, and lots of things to do in the state.
I can imagine. So what kind of activities are in your book that you could recommend during this time of social distancing?
That's a great question. We have, and there is still quite a bit to do. We have actually the Wildlife Safari Park just down the road here in Ashland, between here and Lincoln. We're in Omaha, between Omaha and Lincoln, just opened up for the season. Normally, there's a couple of stopping points that you can make throughout the drive, but they've closed those spots, and so it's just purely a drive-through experience right now. So you can see elk and buffalo and pelicans and cranes and lots of different animals, and it's a great time to go because it's the animals are very active while the weather's cooler, and you can just enjoy the nature and getting out while still practicing safe and social distancing.
Yeah, just to get this is great. So
And
who is your targeted audience for this book? Are there people like coming to Nebraska, or residents, lifelong residents of Nebraska, or who would you say?
To be honest, I think it's for both Nebraskans and for visitors. We attended a Nebraska travel conference a few years ago, and one of the tourism committee members said something that resonated with me that day, and it continues to stay with me. And and it is it's really of interest to me. Is that he said, we can't get other people to love Nebraska until Nebraskans love Nebraska. And, and that to me says you have to get out and explore your state. And, there's more to Nebraska. If you live in Omaha, there's more to Nebraska than Omaha or Lincoln. You need to go west. If you live in the eastern side of the state, you need to go west and explore Toadstool Geologic Park, Fort Robinson, spend some time at Buffalo Bill's Ranch in North Platte. If you live in the west side of the state, go east. Go to Lincoln, tour the Capitol. Spend some time at the Museum of American Speed. Go into Omaha, go to the zoo, go to the old market. There's so much to do in this state, and it's just really important for people to get out and explore their own state, especially right now. After we get an opportunity, once we get the all clear. After the virus is gone away and is letting us live normal lives again. But as far as out-of-staters go, there is so much to do in Nebraska. There's so much to explore, and I know our tourism tag is a little comedic with Nebraska. It's not for everyone, but I tell people it is for everyone because, we have so much to offer. As Lisa mentioned, we have the historical aspect. We have the natural attractions. We've got one of the best zoos in the world in Omaha, the Henry Dorley Zoo. We've got some really great restaurants. This is a foodies. Foodies have to come to Omaha and Lincoln and other cities around the state. I mean, we've got so many great chefs scattered around the state that are just, we'll challenge anybody for outstanding food. So really, there's a lot to come and explore. And we used to call ourselves, Nebraska, the good life, and it really is the good life. And we want to have people come in and experience that and see what makes Nebraska, the good life.
Yeah. All right. So where can people pick up a copy of your book?
Well, you can get them off of our website at 100thingsnebraska.com. And you can also grab them at Bookworm is still open. It's a local bookstore here in Omaha that you can get curbside pickup. Master's Hand in Tacoma is selling them. You can also order off of their website, as well as they're doing curbside pickup as well. And I know when things open back up, there'll be other gift shops and stores carrying them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it. I kind of want to come to Nebraska now. I guess I'll have to wait a while. So until next time, thank you.